From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. If your Thanksgiving plans involve getting on the highway or hopping on a plane, here's a look ahead at what to expect in some parts of the country next week. AccuWeather meteorologists are saying that a new storm packing the potential for accumulating snow is set to take shape across the eastern half of the nation on Thanksgiving and Black Friday that could result in widespread disruptions for your travel and holiday festivities. Two scenarios will be at play as the holiday week progresses, one of which could produce accumulating snow across portions of the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. The first scenario involves a slow-moving storm, meaning potentially longer-lasting impacts from the Tennessee and Ohio valleys through the Northeast. Now, the second scenario sends that same storm farther south and off the Carolina coast through Thanksgiving. This would be a less intense storm with rounds of rain and even some snow, which could spread from the Tennessee Valley eastward to the East Coast. Even if the cold air out of Canada is slow to advance southward as far as the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic region, any drenching rain accompanied by blustery winds that may impact the region could still prove challenging for Thanksgiving Day parades and those heading down the road to Grandma's house for dinner. Depending upon how the storm takes shape, winds spanning from the Tennessee Valley to the Virginia coastline could gust upwards of 20 miles per hour later next week. Winds of that magnitude may not be too big on an average day, but for locations such as New York City or Philadelphia that host major parades with large balloons, anything exceeding sustained winds of 23 miles per hour or have gusts up to 34 miles per hour would result in unsafe conditions. So just be aware of that. The snow threat across the interior Northeast will remain a possibility later next week if the storm's core tracks far enough northward into the corridor of chilly air. As a dip in the jet stream, intense winds that blow at the upper levels of the atmosphere nudges southward later next week, that may prove beneficial for chilly air nudging southward across the Northeast. Now, AccuWeather's senior meteorologist Tyler Royce says there is a possibility that some folks will wake up to a white Thanksgiving or see some snowflakes flying around in areas that typically do not see snow for the late November holiday. Even locations surrounding the Great Lakes may get some flakes by the next weekend. Depending on which storm scenario comes to fruition, the weather pattern through the rest of the extended Thanksgiving weekend can vary dramatically. A fast tracking system could open the door for drier weather by the weekend, while a slow-moving storm could linger several days along the northeast coast and continue to produce impacts. Now, if you're planning on hitting the stores for Black Friday, then monitor the upcoming pattern and check AccuWeather often for the latest storm potential updates. Likewise, those traveling out of the east and back to their homes following the holiday may need to monitor for any flight delays or cancellations later next week into the upcoming weekend. That's all for now. You can find more stories and regional forecasts at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.